Hello, my friends. My name is Darren Gerdes, and this is the Daily Brief. So it looks like the battlefield has ticked up. It's gotten a lot hotter over the last day or so. 1,040 Russians off the battlefield, and it was 800 something the day before, and 800 something the day before. I think 700 a little bit before that, and yeah, so it's ticked up. And when you look at this, I also like to compare notes to Andrew Perpetua to see just what's going on. Red is Russian losses. Blue is Ukrainian losses that they were able to validate, right? Doesn't mean it's a perfect science, but generally speaking, if this much red and only that much blue, that's a good day for the Ukrainians. Okay. Yesterday, the big story was Joe Biden signing the $60 billion aid bill. Got through the House on Saturday, got through the Senate on Tuesday, and here we are with the actual signature of it, just in case you hadn't gotten to see it. Okay. Let's turn our attention to a number of events. In Moscow, there's a so-called non-residential building. This was about 15 hours ago, something like that. Moscow's so-called non-residential two-story building is on fire. Two-story unused building caught on fire at a construction site. Not sure exactly what it is or if it's at all related to Ukraine, but um, could be nothing. But okay, here's another view of the same one. Here's Igor Shushko. Now, that's not to be confused with this fire here, where it's engulfing a Russian oil depot or deposit in Smolensk region. Okay, that's a different fire, and here's Smolensk over by the Belarus border. Okay, but that's not to be confused with this fire, which engulfs petroleum tanks in Omsk, Russia. Three tanks, each holding 200 liters or 52 gallons of petroleum, are ablaze. The fire is spread to an area of 1,000 square meters. Cause of the fire is unknown. In all scenarios, it could be nothing, but there's probably something to at least some of them, especially the oil refineries. Here's another view of that. The Russian oil industry continues to play cosplay a Roman candle, an oil depot in Omsk. Where is Omsk, by the way? Omsk is all the way over here by Kazakhstan. So again, could be nothing, but probably, at least in some of these scenarios, it's some sabotage. Now, last week, the Russians were also greeted with ATACMS, and they didn't know that the Ukrainians had ATACMS. Apparently, Biden used some drawdown authority, and this was kind of quiet. But last week, Ukraine used long-range ATACMS missiles delivered in secret to destroy multiple S-400 systems and much more at the Russian airfield in Deskoy in occupied Crimea. And I talked about that. Now, getting rid of those S-400 systems is important. Getting rid of radar is important, and apparently 100 such missiles were already delivered to Ukraine before the House vote. Last little bit, Ben Hodges talked about how NATO got better the day Finland joined the alliance. Here's a Major General's comments. Of course, it's none of my business, but operationally, it seems absurd to bring missile systems with such a long range closer to our border. Why? They make easy targets for us. Because Putin was saber rattling about how we have to move these long range systems right to the Finnish border. Remember, Finland and Sweden were not part of the NATO alliance, and then because of the war, these two countries, which were not part of NATO, are now part of NATO. Last little bit, select all images with Finnish snipers. Okay, my friends, thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes. Thank you to my patrons, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.